So the 2021-2022 NBA season will be starting back in about a month, and I decided it would be a good time to start a new series where I talk about every single team and like their roster before the season starts. And I thought it would make more sense to do it in the order of the worst teams in the NBA down to the best, and I made my own personal list. And to start this series off today, I'm going to be starting with the Orlando Magic, as I do believe they will be the worst team in the NBA this upcoming season. And basically in this video, I'll just be discussing the Magic, like their young players, and why I don't think they will be that good, and basically anything I should think they should do, basically anything about the Magic. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video, as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content, and if you want to help me reach my goal of 1,500 subscribers. Also drop a comment on this video, as I do respond to all of my comments, and play that intro. Start the video off, I want to talk about their offense, and I simply don't think they're going to be an amazing offensive team, because right now on their roster they don't have a single guy who I think will or is maybe even capable of averaging over 20 points per game and doing it at least an average efficiency. And they don't have a great shot creator or anything close to that. I actually think they're going to be one of the worst offensive teams in the NBA, because even if Jalen Suggs comes straight into the NBA and is like the best rookie, it's pretty unfair to expect him to be an elite shot creator straight out the gate, especially when that's not what he's predicted to be coming into the NBA. They also don't have a bunch of floor spacers, and Suggs is not projected to be a great shooter in the NBA, and I doubt he will be one straight out the gate. Cole Anthony was not a good three-point shooter in his first year. Markelle Fultz, even when he was good last year, was not a good three-point shooter. RJ Hampton's an average at best three-point shooter. Jonathan Isaac's an average one at best, and Terrence Ross is an elite shooter. But guys like Michael Carter-Williams, Mo Bamba are not that great. So I don't think they will be that great on offense, but I definitely think we will see some growth from the young players on the offensive side of the floor, as I think Jalen Suggs will have a really good rookie season, since he's probably going to be starting straight out the gate, and he's going to have a lot of confidence. There also won't be too much pressure on him since he's in Orlando and not a huge market. I definitely think he'll be in contention for the Rookie of the Year, and I think he's going to show some of his playmaking ability. I think a lot of people will see how good he actually is. I think he'll average somewhere around 14 points and 5 assists on decent efficiency. When it comes to Cole Anthony, I expect him to break out, because he's going to be in his second year. At the end of his rookie season, he was playing really well. I think he's going to average somewhere around 16 points and just be a phenomenal scorer. I doubt he's going to be efficient, since he likes taking a lot of shots, but nonetheless, I definitely think we'll see some strides from him. Honestly, I don't know when Markelle Fultz is returning, but I hope he can play at the same level he did to start last season. He was honestly looking like a guy who's going to be a future all-star. I don't really know what to say about him, because he is coming off of an injury, but I just hope he could be a solid point guard coming back. And if he returns to his old selves, he definitely has a chance to be in the most improved player talks. RJ Hampton is a guy who I think is one of the more underrated players on this team. I think he'll average somewhere around 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, and just be a great all-around player. I definitely think he's a starting level player when he reaches his peak, and he might have star potential. He's definitely underrated on this team, and I'm going to be watching out for him. I'm not ready to give up on Mo Bamba yet, as I do think he has the potential to be a really good player in the NBA. He literally has Rudy Gobert type length, and he's just as athletic and quick as him. I think if he's given consistent minutes this season and he's coached really well, I think we will see him become a really good player, and I think he'll get consistent minutes. They don't have Nikola Vucevic or Khem Birch anymore, and I think Mo Bamba will show that he's actually a really solid player. I don't know when Jonathan Isaac is going to return, but he looks like he could be one of the best defenders in the league. I guess we'll just have to see how he looks after a serious injury. Their rookie in Franz Wagner looks like a solid prospect. I'm not expecting too much out of him, since it is his rookie year and he's not like a crazy high draft pick. But Wendell Carter Jr. is definitely a guy who I'm expecting good things out of, because I think he can be a great center in the NBA. I think he can be one of those great starter type of players who's just an all-around center who could score decently, shoot the ball at a decent level, rebound, and play make. I'm definitely excited to see what he does in this this new scenery. Chuma Okeke is a guy who had a lot of great potential, and he has a lot of really good games last season, as I think he scored like 20 points a few times. He definitely has some potential to be a solid player in the NBA. That's basically all I got for Orlando on the offensive side of the floor. I definitely think they have a lot of young talent, but when you're just a team that's this young and your players are not proven yet at all, I don't think I can have you as a team that's even going to be sniffing the play-in tournament. To quickly talk about Orlando on the defensive side of the floor, I don't think they'll be that good either. I don't think they'll be like a terrible defensive team like how they are going to be on offense, but I don't think they'll be an elite defense or anything like that. Jalen Suggs is projected to be a solid defender coming to the NBA, but rookie guards always struggle at literally everything, especially on defense. Cole Anthony isn't a great defender. Markelle Fultz, when he returns, will actually be a pretty solid defender, but he's coming off an injury. We don't know how good he's going to be. RJ Hampton's actually a pretty solid defender, but at the same time, he is a young player, and none of them are like amazing defenders or anything like that. Mo Bamba so far in his career hasn't been an amazing defender. He's been a good rim protector, but he often messes up on switches and like helping and things like that. Mo Wagner cannot defend the perimeter to save his life. Whenever Jonathan Isaac returns, he's going to be a huge help to this team on the defensive side of the floor. I think he has the potential to be a top 5 defender in the entire Basketball Association. We also don't know how he's going to look returning from an ACL injury, so there's that. Franz Wagner coming to the NBA is not projected to be a great defender. Terrence Ross is average at best. Gary Harris is pretty solid. That's all I have to say about him. And Wendell Carter Jr. is actually a pretty good defensive center, so I give him some credit. But nonetheless, this is just a team that I don't think is going to be trying to win games. So maybe even if they could at best be like the 18th best defense, then they're probably going to be somewhere around the 23rd, 25th ranked defense, because they're not going to be trying their absolute hardest. But nonetheless, they will not be a great defensive team. There's nothing wrong with that. Now to discuss the reason to why I think the Orlando Magic will be the worst team in the NBA and why they're ranked 30th on my list. This is due to the fact that this might possibly be the least talented team that I see in the NBA. Because with at least with the other teams who are not going to be good at all, like they're going to be just as bad as Orlando, at least with those guys, like those other teams, I see them like having a player who's going to be a 20 points per game scorer, and at least like an all-star caliber player. Like Cleveland, they have Colin Sexton. The Houston Rockets have like Kevin Porter Jr. or Jalen Green and Christian Wood, like, you know what I mean? But with Orlando, their best offensive player and the guy who's probably going to lead them in scoring is probably going to be Suggs, Cole Anthony, or Markelle, and that's simply like, yeah, that's pretty obvious. They're good players, but they shouldn't be your leading scorers. And I honestly don't see anything negative about them being a bad team, because they still don't have a guy who I think is going to be a superstar player. And if you want to contend in today's NBA, you're going to just need that type of guy. I don't think they should be winning games anyways, but this is one of the more young teams in the NBA, and even the veterans they have outside of like Terrence Ross are not amazing, and their young players have a lot of potential, but they're not amazing players right now. And Orlando was literally barely making the playoffs when they had Vucevic, Fournier, and now without them, I think they're going to do much worse. I think this is the type of season to where you just play a bunch of your young players, let them grow, let them show how good they truly can be. I think as long as they're playing their young guys, this will be a successful season. To conclude the video, just because I'm saying the Magic will be the worst team in the NBA doesn't mean I'm disrespecting them, because often when I talk about bad teams and flat out call them bad, fans get in their feelings and claim they're somehow going to make the playoffs. So I hope Orlando fans are not biased and like misguided. Your team is not going to be good this year, but there's not a problem with that. You shouldn't even want to be good, to be honest. You should want to build upon your young core and just see your young players play a lot. But nonetheless, I just think the Magic are going to be the worst team. It's like when I say the Magic are going to be the worst team, it sounds like terrible, like I'm just disrespecting them. But there's a bunch of other teams that I had in contention for this worst spot. I just gave it to Orlando for the reasons I previously said. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think the Magic will be the worst team in the NBA. Drop a like on this video, as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content, and if you want to help me reach my goal of 1,500 subscribers. Also drop a comment on this video, as it does help my channel grow, and I respond to all my comments, and I'm out.